Hi there! Today we're going to make some cute as a button candy dome cards. And they're all ready for Easter, but you know what? I bet I'm going to make more of them. But probably not for Easter. So let's have a look at these. They're pretty big, but they take a really nice amount of jelly beans or other candies. So let's get started with these little cuties. Now you want to cut out all the pieces in the file and lay them out because we're going to stack them up so you know where the layers go. You're going to want adhesives, and you know that I love my micro glue dots. And I'm also going to use some 3D foam squares in this project. And I always like to have a pair of tweezers handy and my bone folder. And I'm going to use some 3 millimeter wide double-sided tape. And that's going to be key for this. Now, you can use that or you can use wet glue if you have it. Any glue you use will need to be able to adhere plastic to paper. Now let's have a closer look at these plastic domes that I'm using for this project. And I got them at Amazon, and I'll put the link down below. And this is the dimensions of them. So these cards that I've created fit these domes. Now, if you don't have these size domes, or you can't get them or don't want to get them, I will show you how you can alter the card so that the card will fit the dome that you're using. So let's make the card as I made it, and after that I'll talk about ways you can alter the card to fit other size domes. So stick with me. So let's look at this card. It's the Easter Bunny Bum Candy Dome card, and that's the one we're going to put together today. And I have my jelly beans out, and sometimes I use a tape runner for this project, but you use whatever you're comfortable with. So I wanted to show you up close what this back perforated window hatch, whatever you want to call it, looks like. It is solid right over here, and it will fold back. So you can actually flatten this hatch again after it's been torn open. And there's a little thumb tab there, which makes it easy to grab the perforated tab or hatch or whatever you want to call it. Now we want to test all the layers, so we're going to put them together. And oh, there's a good teachable moment. There's a reason we want to test these layers out. We want to make sure they're the right way around. So this is how they're going to go. If you look through the top 2 layers, you can see that perforated hatch on the bottom layer. So now we're going to separate out these layers. Now, the plastic dome actually gets sandwiched between the white layer and the pink layer. So we're going to add adhesive to both layers. But first we're going to flip over the middle layer and we're going to write back on it. So we keep track of what's the back and what's the front. We only have to do that with that second layer. Now I'm going to use my 3 millimeter double-sided tape, and I'm going to apply it around the outside edge of the perforations on that back hatch or tab. And just like this. And it doesn't have to be perfect, and it shouldn't go over those perforations. And don't apply any adhesive around that little thumb tab. You can use your bone folder to burnish over that double-sided tape. That helps the release paper come off more easily. And this is how the dome will fit over it later, but not yet, because if we attached it now, we wouldn't be able to get the jelly beans inside, and we need to get the jelly beans inside. Now we're going to apply the adhesive to the pink layer, and we're working on the back side, and we're going to run the adhesive around the outside of this hole. And if you're finding it hard to bend the tape, well, you could just use little pieces of tape, just like this. So this is how it fits over the dome, just like that. So that's good to go. We can take the release paper off the double-sided adhesive. And then we can just place this piece right over the dome, and it will adhere to the little lip that is on the dome. Now we get to the fun part. Let's add some jelly beans. Now, it doesn't have to be jelly beans. It can be whatever you want. It can be all one color. It can be mixed. So we've got the jelly beans inside the dome. We'll pull the release paper off the double-sided adhesive with that perforated hatch or tab or window, and we're going to position it very carefully aligned with the bottom of that pink layer. And then we're going to carefully flip it over. And look! How cool is that? Yeah, jelly beans hidden away. And there's the little thumb tab, and you will pull that to open up the back. But not just yet. Let's finish decorating this project with the other elements. The bunny ears and the pink toes are attached in one piece and go on top of the white layer right here. Attach the little feet right over this part of the pink piece. These little pieces that look like clouds are the bunny's tail, and I'm going to attach them with some 3D foam squares. And now there's one last piece to add, and it goes right here. And I'm going to have to lift the bunny paws a little bit so that this can slide under. And there it is. How cute is that? And there's the back, and you just pull up that little thumb tab, and you'll be able to get to the good stuff. You want to see it done? Here we go. Yay, jelly beans! And there's where you can fold back the hatch. And if you want to, you can flatten it back down and maybe put a little bit of tape over the thumb tab and fill it up again. So super cute. Now, I promised I'd tell you how you can alter the card in case you have a different size candy dome. Here's how you do it. First, you have to measure the size of your candy dome and measure the inside. The dimensions on the packaging will probably give you the biggest dimension, and that's the one that includes the lip on the dome. The number you're looking for is a couple of millimeters bigger than the inside of the dome. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is open up the design inside Silhouette Studio. And it opens up to the perfect size in Silhouette. If you've purchased the SVG from Silhouette and are uploading it into Cricut, then you'll probably have to follow these steps just to make sure that you have the right size. Before we go any further, I want to show you a little trick. And if you've measured your dome dimensions in millimeters, then you might want to change over your canvas to millimeters. So here's how you do it. Go up to the menu at the top left, choose Edit, and when you get to the drop-down menu, choose Preferences, and that will open up this window. Choose your unit of measurement to millimeters and press OK. And you can change that back and forth as many times as you want, anytime you want. Now we're going to go back to inches just for the purposes of demonstration in this lesson. So here we are with our design open. The first thing you're going to do is pop over to the left-hand column and choose the circle. Now go back over to the canvas, hold down the Shift key, and pull out to the right and down. Holding down the Shift key will give you a perfect circle. Now you can see on that circle what the dimensions are, and it's probably not what you want. Let's say you have a dome that measures 2.5 inches. Well, we need to make that circle 2.5 inches. Make sure your circle is highlighted. Now pop on up to the top bar where it says width, W, and put in 2.5. And the little lock just means it's going to be the same width as height. So as soon as you change one, the other will change. Once you make those changes, click Enter. Now let's go back. And you can see the measurement on our circle is 2.5 inches. Yippee, good to go. Okay, I thought we might add a little bit of color to this. So open up your color palette, make sure your circle is highlighted, and pick a nice bright color that's not part of the design. Okay, this works. Now let's take this circle and move it over into the middle of our hatch window. Just like that. And eyeball center it. We're going to do some fancy stuff. Okay, the next thing you want to do is select everything. So go up into the corner and rubber band the whole design, everything. Now you can see there's a box around that circle that we just dragged over. We don't want that selected, so we're going to be holding down the Shift key and clicking on that circle, and that will deselect it. Now that circle will stay the same size. We're going to take everything else, go up into the corner like you can see here, and then slowly drag the corner down. And all the elements in that little bunny are going to start shrinking. So we're going to shrink all those elements all together because they're all selected. And we're going to resize that shy bunny design so that the hatch is just a tiny bit bigger than the circle that we just made. And now we should be able to use our other size dome. So let's take everything apart. We're not going to need that circle again. We're going to take apart the bunny because we're going to cut all the elements separately. But before you get too invested in cutting all these pieces, first take one of those top pieces and cut it out and make sure that it does fit really nicely over your dome. And once you know that that's good, you can cut all the other pieces and do that for all the other designs as well. I hope you've enjoyed making these sweet little candy domes. We've covered a lot of stuff in this lesson. So I hope to see you again next time, and happy Easter, and let's make more candy domes. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me on my website. Thanks again for coming. See you next time. Bye.